If you want to have a chance at a fair payout for your injury claim against the worst insurance companies that exist, you will very likely need to follow the advice I provide in this video. To beat the worst insurance companies like Liberty Mutual, Allstate, or Safeco, it likely won't happen overnight. To provide you with an example of how to beat one of the worst insurance companies in an injury case, let me tell you the real-life story of my past client, Rachel. Rachel was in a rear-end motor vehicle accident. She was rear-ended by a driver that was inattentive. After the accident, Rachel did not go to the hospital in an ambulance, but had a friend drive her to the hospital later on that day. Rachel suffered injuries to her head, left hand, neck, left knee, shoulders, and low back. Diagnostic testing was performed at the hospital, but the testing revealed that Rachel did not sustain any broken bones or fractures. It was a short hospital trip and she was discharged. Rachel later sought additional medical treatment, including physical therapy and pain management treatment. She only had to receive medical treatment for a few months after her car accident. Once Rachel was finished with her medical treatment, my office gathered all of Rachel's medical records and medical bills. I then sent a written demand package on behalf of Rachel to the at-fault driver's insurance company, demanding that they pay out the insurance policy limits. In response to my written demand, we received an initial offer of under $17,000 to settle Rachel's case. This was a lowball offer and I knew it, but I wasn't too surprised. You see, I was dealing with Liberty Mutual, who in my experience is one of, if not the most difficult insurance companies to deal with in injury cases. Liberty Mutual is known for giving out lowball initial offers in injury cases. If you get a lowball offer in your case, it's usually a good idea to file a lawsuit. It may be the only way for you to possibly eventually get a fair and reasonable settlement offer. After I filed the lawsuit for Rachel, Liberty Mutual hired a defense lawyer to defend the at-fault driver in the lawsuit. Shortly after filing the lawsuit, the defense lawyer, presumably as instructed by Liberty Mutual, asked if we wanted to mediate Rachel's case. We refused to mediate the case early on during litigation. After Rachel's deposition took place, the insurance company defense lawyer again asked if we were interested in mediating the case. We still were not interested in mediating the case. After months of litigating the case, I moved for a trial date. When we got the trial date, the judge also ordered us to mediate the case before the trial. We ultimately mediated Rachel's case a month prior to the trial date that we were given by the court, since we were forced to mediate by the judge. Mediation is a settlement conference where a neutral party known as a mediator helps the parties try to reach a settlement in the case. Before we mediated the case, though, I requested one of the doctors that treated Rachel to provide me with a report outlining the nature and extent of Rachel's injuries related to the accident. Once the doctor completed the written report, we provided the doctor report to the defense lawyer prior to the mediation. This report was very favorable to Rachel and helped increase the value of her claim. By litigating the case and pushing the case towards trial, this put pressure on Liberty Mutual to make Rachel a more reasonable offer at the court-ordered mediation. Thus, at mediation, just a month prior to our trial date, we were able to settle Rachel's case for over 5 times the initial offer we got on Rachel's case. And since Rachel also got $10,000 in no-fault benefits that went towards her medical bills, the total recovery received in Rachel's case was nearly $100,000. So we settled Rachel's case at mediation just a month prior to the scheduled trial date. To beat the worst insurance companies when dealing with your injury claim, you are going to have to put pressure on the insurance company to get the insurance company to take your injury claim seriously. The worst insurance companies usually won't feel motivated to offer a fair settlement unless they are pushed. Filing a lawsuit is one way to increase the pressure, but that alone often isn't enough. After a lawsuit is filed, there's still not much urgency on the insurance company side. They might drag their feet or make lowball offers because they know the trial date is far off. However, as the trial date gets closer, the insurance company will start to feel more pressure because they know that if the case goes to trial, they risk a jury awarding a much higher amount than what they're offering. That's why it's often necessary to push your case toward trial to get a fair offer. The closer you get to trial, the more likely the worst insurance companies will make a better offer to avoid the uncertainty and potential cost of a jury verdict. By showing the worst insurance companies that you're serious about going to trial, you increase your chances of receiving a reasonable settlement. This process takes time, but it's often the best way to ensure you're not taken advantage of by the worst insurance companies looking to settle your case for far less than what it's worth. So now that you know how you can possibly beat the worst of the worst insurance companies in your injury claim, you still might be worried that you will make mistakes along the way that will ruin your injury claim. And if that sounds like you, then you should definitely watch this video about to pop up right here, where I go over 8 mistakes that you can avoid that absolutely can crush your injury claim. Also, for more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to my channel right here. Lastly, if you've been injured in Kentucky, remember to don't wait, call Tate.